Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I have a storage solution that I am happy with for 11. It may not be the prettiest storage solution I've ever come up with, but it is tidy and I've got all of my expansion content in here. There's only two things that I did not get back in the box, and I think you'll excuse me once you see what those two things are. Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today we are looking at how I have been storing away my copy of 11, which includes 3 of the expansions. Now, I believe there is probably enough room in here for some of the additional content, but I'm not 100% sure what all is in that other content. I know the international player content has some airplane tokens. I'm hoping they would fit in here, but at least this is certainly fitting the core box, and a lot of this can be used for that. And well, let's just take a look here. So I've got the rule book on top. By the way, there's like a hair of lid lift on my box, but that's about it. All the other flat materials, rule books and stuff are sitting on top there. Now here you can see there's actually quite a lot of baggies in this storage solution, but I just couldn't get around it without literally, almost doubling the size or the height of the box. So it is what it is. And the baggies are almost all containing either the cards or these cardboard tokens that are the stadium upgrade tiles. The International Cup expansion and the solo campaign expansion are mostly just cards and were very easy to fit into here, a few tokens here and there, but the stadium expansion was a bear to find a home for all of these things. But everything fits in here, and you may notice a keen eye, something brand new to my storage solutions. We're going to take a look at these new items right here in just a minute. So we've got all of the kind of cardboard stuff just kind of positioned out around here. There's not a ton of it, and it's just kind of sitting out so that it helps keep everything level, but the only thing sitting on top of it was rule books. Then kind of scattered around the edges here, I have cards. Now I went ahead and divided some of them up into, combine them. So here's the objectives and the director cards. These are ones that you're going to be passing out at the beginning of the game. This is nothing but the ad cards or sponsor cards. This is nothing but the board meeting cards. This is nothing but your opponent cards. And then here we have all of the cards for hire, the staff cards with the pink special ones on top, and then tucked behind the pink ones is the first trainer ones, and so on and so forth. Everything in here, I just happen to have one of these tuck boxes, and it's the right size. This is not the thicker ones. This is more of kind of the original standard size ones, but the International Cup cards and the solo campaign cards. So 2 expansion contents worth of cards are in here, and I put them in here and decided to put them in a tuck box simply because it makes it easy for me to set these off to the side if I'm not playing with those expansions. Makes it easy to identify. All of my smaller cards are in a small baggie right here. Now, the game did not come with these size of baggies, but I have said it before, and I will certainly say it again now. If you get a game that has baggies and you go with one of my storage solutions that kind of is averse to baggies, hold on to those baggies because you never know when they will come in handy. I actually don't ever throw away any of those baggies. I keep them just in a random box in my closet, and I can go dig out whatever I need when I actually need baggies for something like this. All right, then I've got 2 baggies worth of the stadium upgrades. This one here is all of the kind of standard game ones. These are the ones that are always going to be out. Everything in here is the kind of special upgrades that you need to acquire a certain card to be able to get to. So you may not even need to pull those out. We looked at these just a second ago. And then I could have found a spot. There is room in here for these. But these are like weather tokens. I'm not even 100% sure if I'm ever going to be playing with these. The game is tough enough as it is, at least solo. So I just threw them in a baggie and they can easily fill a slot. And then here I have my dice. This is a container that I just happen to have on hand. I've used these containers all the time in other storage solutions, but you could easily just throw this in a baggie as well. The dice here are the only player-specific items that I could not get in these. So this right here is a Simply Tidy jar. Simply Tidy is the maker of a lot of the storage solutions that I get from Michaels, and are very convenient with various sizes, some with moving walls, whatever you want to call these things. But these, I think, are meant to hold like glitter or spices or something, because they've got these lids that, you know, can open up, and there's that, and this side even opens up for a bigger hole. But the lid, I think it'll loosen up over time, but it just comes right off, and there you go. What works about these is that they're just the right size to fit in this channel on the outside of the player boards. Now the problem is that these stupid scenario sheets here don't allow you, so you could run them all along here, but I found that they fit really nicely, two laid down side by side and two standing up and just taking over the corner here. That left me a lot of room to tuck my cards and other things around the outside here. But I basically have one of these for each player. I got these in a 6-pack at Michaels, link in the description below, and you can just hand these to the person. They will essentially just dump it out, and everything they need is right there. So all of their tokens, even their little black marker for keeping track of the opponent's scoring, all of their jersey markers, all that stuff, everything that's in yellow is in that one. The only thing that is not in there is their unique die, which is kind of big and chunky. So let's pull this last one out. There we go. All right. This is a Plano 3400 series Tacklebox. You can get these on Amazon. Walmart is where I pick up mine because they're a little bit cheaper. Any fishing tackle supply store. What's nice about this one versus the Simply Tidy ones that I normally use, it's not nearly as deep. It's much more shallow. And so easily with all of the player boards, you're talking about 12 total double, dual layer player boards that are in the bottom of the box. That takes up a lot of room. So this being shallower is nice for two reasons. One, it fits in the box better, but two, these tokens really don't take up a lot of room. And if you saw my YouTube short on my work in progress, you'll notice I was using a Simply Tidy one, which is bigger, and it was harder for me to get my fingers in there. Well, this one being shallower and wider makes it much easier for me to get in and grab these wooden tokens out. And so some of these have doubled up, like the injury tokens and the red card tokens are in here. The upgrade tokens or weakness tokens, they're all in there, but it's very easy for me to reach in and say, oh, that's what I need versus, oh, this is what I need. All of the player markers are here. The International Cup ones are at the bottom. This is another thing that I couldn't fit. I would have liked to have fit in here. One of each color for a player, but that's fine. Those are easy to pull out of there. Victory point markers. This is a first player token that you can easily just pull off and set off to the side. So there you go. That is all the tokens. This will sit out all along the side while you're playing the game. All right, and then basically everything else is laid flat. The player boards and the scenario sheets. Now, if you are a board game designer and you are designing the shape of things and the size of boxes, ladies and gentlemen, do not do this. I love Portal Games, but Portal Games, if you're listening to this, why in the world did you not take these scenario sheets and make them the same length as the player boards are? The player boards are mostly a square. Why are these not like wider and shorter? It drives me bonkers that they hang out over this edge, cutting off, that type of storage. Again, nobody asked me. Portal Games didn't ask me how big should we make our scenario sheets, but I feel like if they had asked me, I would have said, hey, make them the same size or roughly the same footprint as your player boards so that all the flat stuff lays flat. But again, nobody asked me. So But there you go. All of the player boards are essentially just stacked into the bottom. They are all the same size, which is nice. At least they got that right. And then the scenario sheets just on top. So that is it. Again, this is the core box with 3 expansions out of the add-on expansions from the Kickstarter. Now I'm going to kind of put some of this back in here so I can show you something. So let's start like this. Let's put this in here. Do that. These are so perfect because they're the exact same height as the box. So they just fit in there perfectly. Let's see here, like so. Now let's just pretend that I did not get any of the stretch goal content, and I wanted to get everything that came in that core box into this box. Well, if you haven't noticed, these are the 2 things that I did not get into the box: my dice tray and my little trophy. But I can get them in if I leave out this deck box, which only contains expansion content. So let's just finish tucking all of the rest of this stuff in here, and then one of these, I did do this the other night. There we go. Ta-da! And now you can continue going about, stacking the rest of this stuff up like so. A few of these can sit on top, like so. And then your rule books go on top. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you happen to only have the core box and you want to get these 2 items in there, there is room with this storage solution to make it happen. So take your pick. For me, I'm just going to set these off to the side. Full disclosure, this isn't really the best dice tray in the world because it makes for a very easy ramp. It's hard for me to keep a single die rolled in there, so I don't know how much I'm going to be using it, and this is this. So, yeah, there we go. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Again, links in the descriptions for these 2 items, the only things I had to purchase. And baggies. Hopefully you've got some baggies stored away from another game. If not, go out and buy another game that's on my channel as a storage solution, and chances are you can get their baggies and use them in this game and use the storage solution I have provided for that game. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Have a great day.